Hello everyone, this is Dan from Dan's Treasure Products. I'm going to do a short video here on how to install the D.T.P brace. If you're not familiar with what the D.T.P brace is, it's something I designed to reinforce the mount of the aluminum tube to the control box on the Garrett AT Pro, AT Gold and AT Max metal detectors. Several people over the years have broken these two plastic mounting posts here that go up into the tube. All you've got is these two screws here securing that, and then not a lot of support under here. So what this does is it adds support here on a single piece model like this. This will slide over the tube and then lock in place over these two screws, and you put a screw in from each side. That will secure that and lock everything in place, give you a lot more support. The two-piece model does the same thing with this piece, but you'll notice here it's bridged underneath, so it has full 360-degree wrap around the tube, which also raises the tube slightly off of the detector. You mount the front piece, which raises this also and gives a lot more support here, and what that does is that gives you clearance here for your battery door to open even when your cam lock is all the way to the top. If you haven't noticed before, you have to leave your cam lock in the lower position, or if you do keep it in the upper position, you have to loosen it or remove it just to change out your batteries, which is kind of a hassle. So the two-piece model does that for you. The single piece model is all you really need to strengthen this control box to the frame mount, but if you want the extra convenience of changing your batteries out with the cam lock in either position, you probably want to go with the two-piece model. I'm showing these in different colors just to show you some of the variety of colors we have. Obviously here we got silver, green, black, pink, and gray, also white. We'll soon have blue, purple, orange, and probably a military khaki or a flat dark earth kind of color coming soon. If you don't see the color you like, send me a message or an email and I'll get back to you whether we have that available or if we can have that in the near future. Okay, when you get your D.T.P brace, come in the package, looks something like this. We have an abbreviated instruction sheet, which will also have a link to this video. You'll have the brace kit itself. This is a two-piece model in black. You'll have your two stainless steel screws. When you take it out of the package, I'm going to show you a green one here, just to show you what you need to do prior to install. You've got this extra material on here that's part of the manufacturing process. These are 3D printed. You also have, there's a chance you may have little strings or little dots of plastic stuck here and there. They're easily removed. You can see most of this comes off pretty easy just by hand. Just peels right off. Anything that you can't get with your fingers, just grab a utility knife or a hobby knife, and it's usually pretty obvious what should be there and what shouldn't. Just trim off the excess. Should only take you a couple of minutes. I'm not going to take the time just so I can shorten the video to show you the whole thing. But trim off all the excess till you're happy with it. If you got a little rough spot or something that just doesn't look quite like you want it, a little sandpaper can clean it up. And also, if you don't like the color, these will take paint, so you can paint them any color you like. In fact, if it's a color we don't offer, pick something that'll take that color paint that you want. And once you get it, paint it to your liking, and any color you like pretty much. So on the two-piece model, this is your lower piece. A little bit more trimming involved with this one. This one's got a couple little plastic nubs on it here. Most of them don't even require a knife. You just get your fingernail on them, they just scratch right off. They're not part of the actual part, obviously. They're just excess material from the manufacturing. And down here on the bottom, hopefully you can see that good here. You got a little bit of that thin material covering here. It's kind of hard to get to with your fingers, so just take a good hobby knife or good utility knife. Just clean that stuff out. Again, this shouldn't take much time at all. And this is a tight fit, and that is by design once you mount it on the detector. So I recommend you can trial fit it first if you want, but I recommend taking some sandpaper or an emery board and kind of run it between these slots, get it good and cleaned out, make sure there's no little strings or little excess plastic in there to get in your way. Once you're satisfied that's good, you can go ahead and do the rest of the install, and I'll show you that here next. So anyhow, back to the install. It's pretty quick, pretty simple. You remove your coil from the control box, then remove the cam lock and the lower part of your detector. Once that's out of the way, take these two screws out. You just need a Phillips screwdriver for this. It's actually number 2 Phillips. You can see I've had mine off a couple of times. Get those two screws out of the way, separate the two. Now you want to take the D.T.P brace, and I'm going to use this silver one here for my machine, and I'm going to go with the 2-piece model because I also have the fold and go kit, which makes a detector to be able to fold in half with the push of a button. I've got that mounted on my machine, which with that setup I prefer to have the cam lock in the upper position. So I definitely want the 2-piece model so I have the clearance for my battery door and don't have to do a disassembly just to change my batteries. So what you do is you take the D.T.P brace with the logo facing up as it would with the Garrett, toward the Garrett logo, toward your arm cuff. So facing up that way. Slide it over here, push your pins in to get the slide past there, and then rotate it around to where it's upside down. Get it roughly about there, just a little ways from this second hole. And if this is a single piece model, you're almost done. Actually rotate this over, sorry about that. The single piece model from here, you would just remount the frame to your control box. Make sure that these two recesses here, hopefully you can see those on camera. There they are. These two recesses here are designed to fit over these screw holes. So once you've got the control box on there, line that up, make sure it's over those two holes. Put your two screws back in. And from there what you want to do is take a 7/64" drill bit. If you don't have this exact size, get the nearest fractional number or metric size, and you just want to drill just through the tube here, one hole on each side. And after you have those holes drilled, which I already do, you put the screws, which are included with the kit. You get 2 stainless steel screws to lock everything in place. So if you had the single piece unit, at that point you just reassemble everything and you'd be done. Since I'm doing the 2-piece unit, what you do is you take that second piece, and you'll notice there's slots here on the bottom. One going across that way, and then one only going across half of the distance this way. And that lines up with these 3 plastic supports here. So you line that up, slide it over. Oh, I have it upside down, sorry. You slide that down. There'll probably be a gap here, and just take and push that to where it's as close as you can get to the frame there. Should be a nice tight fit. Now from this point, just like we would with a single piece, just put it over here. Now you can see the support that gives. Hopefully you can see that on camera there. You can see how much more support that gives this tube. Now this is going to raise your control box slightly, less than 1/4 inch, and so you're going to have just a tiny bit more reach for your thumb to get to your controls, which some people will like, some people may not. If you don't want that, then you might consider just a single piece brace. So anyhow, from this point, put these 2 screws back in. Actually, I think I said to drill these holes earlier before you put these screws in, but you want to put these screws in first, regardless of whether you have the single or the double, or I'm sorry, the single, the 1-piece brace or the 2-piece brace. Put these screws in, get them good and snug, but don't over tighten them because you are putting a stainless steel screw into plastic. You don't want to go too forceful with it. You don't want to strip them out or break anything. So get those down snug, drill your 2 holes, then from there simply put your screws in. I already had mine drilled like I mentioned earlier. So just put these 2 screws in. One on one side, do the other side, reassemble your detector, and you are good to go. Okay, now I've got the screws installed on both sides. Hopefully you can see that good in the camera. Screws are nice and tight on both sides. You can really tell there's a lot more strength in this now, and should help prevent you from breaking those posts and having to deal without your machine for a while. So anyhow, I appreciate you watching this video. If you have any questions, please send me a message, or you can email me at dtp74070@att.net. Again, that email address is dtp74070@att.net. I'll get back to your questions as soon as I can. You can also look for us on Facebook under Dan's Treasure Products. You can search there and on eBay for the D.T.P brace, and also on the Fold and Go kit. We have the Fold and Go kit both for the Garrett AT series, the Garrett Ace series, Minelab Equinox, and even a few of the Fisher metal detectors. Again, thanks for watching. This is Dan from Dan's Treasure Products. Thank you.